I want to bring to the stage a gentleman who has given his life to sharing music, sharing the Word, and sharing love of Jesus Christ in his everyday life. Please, Mike, welcome Bill Stobaugh.
Satisfied, I'm satisfied. Said he would be my comfort, said he would be my guide. Well, I looked at my hands looked new. I looked at my feet, they did too. Ever since that wonderful day, my soul been satisfied.
You come from Ohio.
Yes.
But,
okay.
Yeah, you come from Ohio, and tell me what you were doing in 1950.
Singing with the Gospelaires Quartet and running heavy equipment.
Running heavy equipment and singing with the Gospelaires Quartet. And y'all traveled out of Akron, Ohio.
Yes.
And you did that. You were with that group for about 9 years. You had the group for many years. You led the group, isn't that correct?
Yes.
And you had a lot of great singers who sang with you. But you traveled for about 9 years with the quartet, and then you became a trio and traveled with the Gospelaires. So,
we went to the seminary. 3 of the fellows in the quartet went to seminary and became preachers.
So then you changed the direction of your ministry at that point.
Yes.
Tell me, back in the 50s when y'all had your quartet, who were some of the groups that you were performing with? You were traveled all over about 7, 8 states. You had your own radio program on 37 radio stations. You were on television. And a lot of the folks here may not know all those things, so I want them to be aware of that. So,
we sang with Ace Richmond, Sunshine Boys, the Weatherfords, and a couple of times with the Blackwoods when they came up to Akron. We'd be on a program with them.
Yeah, and you aspired to be, there was a quartet back then that y'all really aspired to emulate. Well, who was that? There was a quartet from Georgia that y'all sort of sang a little bit like.
Oh, we loved the Statesman Quartet.
The Statesman.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we did a lot of their arrangements.
And you had, when you were on that radio, when you were on radio back then, do you have a particular memory or something what happened funny when you were on radio back in those days? Anything funny happened to you?
In 1952, we were doing a radio broadcast, and there was a fellow listening. And when we got through singing, he came over to me and he says, I want to sign you to a contract. And I said, good, I love gospel music. He said, no, this is a new music and it's going to sweep the world. He wanted me to be a rock and roll singer.
So you chose not to do that.
Yes.
I would like the folks to hear a little bit of what the quartet sounded like back then.
Once in the stillness of the late midnight hour, I felt the presence of the Lord's saving power. I fell on my knees and cried to him there, O merciful Savior, hear a lost sinner's prayer, Well, every hour and every day, well, every moment, in every way, I'm leaning on Jesus, the rock of my soul, I'm singing his praises wherever I go. I'll never forget that night on my knees, the
That was recorded in 1956.
And you had a lot of young men with you back then. They were teenagers, weren't they?
The baritone was 18. The bass and first tenors were 19. The piano player was 24. And I was 30. I was the old man.
When y'all were singing up there in Ohio, do y'all know of any other gospel groups from Ohio? Anybody come to mind? Well, they used to hang out and listen to this group right here. I believe they were at your ordination, weren't they?
The Weatherfords.
The Weatherfords were there, and there were a couple of gentlemen there that started out a group that everybody knows, I think, who are no longer with us, the Cathedral Quartet. Glenn Payne and George Johns. Anybody
that knows that group, they always call Glenn Payne the old man.
Mm-hmm.
I'm 2 weeks older than he is.
But they used to come and sing and be around you. Y'all all started out in the same church, basically, out there back in Ohio many years ago, didn't you?
Yeah, Rex Humbard came to town, and we were the first group that sang with him. And we left, and the Weatherfords came and took our place.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, if y'all have really never heard Southern gospel music, the recording that you just heard is as close to Southern gospel music as you'll ever hear. That's what it sounded like, and this year is the 100th anniversary of Southern gospel music. 100 years ago this year, in fact, it's this very month, if I'm not mistaken, was the beginning of what we consider Southern gospel music, when the first songbook company put together the first quartet and sent them out on the road to start singing. And that was the beginning of our industry. And it's folks like this that made that industry sing. And I want you to once again make welcome Bill Stobaugh.